What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fan? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench podcast networking channel. Giving a shout out to the rest of the crew: Shy, Kelvin, Jermaine, KB Film Room, Big Dog Talk Sports. That's right. And for everyone who is tuning in, we thank you for supporting Behind the Bench and subscribing to the channel and helping to make this show the best that it can be. And I'm gonna start this off, man, just by saying this is I'm kind of emotional, man, because I love the NBA, man, and even when someone achieves an opportunity to win a championship, and they do it the right way in this era of super teaming, stacking the deck, manipulation, all the nefarious tactics to gain a shortcut, or to create a shortcut, cakewalk, red carpet, whatever you want to call it. When you see star players, man, rise to the occasion, go through the struggle, man, go through the fire to win, it does something to you, man. It especially when we hadn't seen it really over the majority of the past decade. And when you see two players, but first of all, let me congratulate the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. They had a great season for themselves, a young team on the rise, and they can sit there and say, you know what? We beat the Phoenix Suns in the first round, who at the start of the season was one of those teams that were said to be one of the favorites to challenge for Western Conference supremacy. They ousted them in the first round, beat them 4 straight, swept them. And then they defeated the defending champion Denver Nuggets on the road in a game 7 in a hostile environment. And they forced Dallas Mavericks to play on the road in a game 5. So kudos to them. Anthony Edwards, he has a bright future for himself. He showed that he's improved. He's one of the young superstars of the league. Karl Anthony Towns, for the most part, I would say he's had a better postseason in the years past. And they took another step. So, now it's just about just continuing, progressing as a team, and let the chips fall where they may. But the Dallas Mavericks, man, when you see, Luka and Kyrie, man, embracing each other after the game tonight as the Dallas Mavericks advance to the NBA Finals by defeating the Minnesota Timberwolves on the road tonight in Game 5. And they will face the Boston Celtics for the right to claim this year's 23-24 NBA championship, 2023-2024 league title. And both teams, if you truly appreciate the NBA on the verge of returning back to form, man, there's a lot of basketball fans from previous decades, previous eras, that were turned off by this super team nonsense, man, where young players were totally disregarded and used as assets, as pawns in the game. But when you see a team come through and they persevere to do it, man, it does something to you. I'm getting tingles thinking about it right now. And I'm not trying to sound corny, but I'm just trying to be as genuine as can be. And you see a Kyrie Irving, man, he's been much maligned for the past 7 years by these talking heads on these sports programs that's been trashing him, saying he wasn't basically he wasn't as good as what he thought he was, But for all practical purposes, Kyrie is a beast. He's a beast. And I mean that in a good way. Because those 4 years in Cleveland, when he played with LeBron James, which is the primary reason LeBron James returned back to Cleveland after playing 4 years in South Beach in Miami. The reason why he returned back to Cleveland, the primary reason, is because he saw who Kyrie Irving was becoming and became. The best closer in the world. The best closer in basketball. And he gets in a great situation. You know, Dallas had a setback last year due to a lot of, just untimely circumstances, injuries, whatnot. The roster hadn't really been solidified. And remember, 2 years ago, they advanced to the Western Conference Finals when Jalen Brunson was on the team as the number 2 player behind Luka, and they went to the Western Conference Finals that year. So you knew it was something there, but the moves that they made. What I mean by moves, man, I'm not talking about bringing in superstars. I'm not talking about mortgaging your future. I'm talking about bringing in players, man, that they're not superstars, but they good at what they do. They good at what they do. But I'm going to say this, man. When people say, when fans out there are led to believe that you don't need drafted players anymore, well, I got to highlight how important their rookie, Derek Lively, was for this team in this postseason. Now, he didn't play in game 4 the other night. And therefore, I would say missing him in the lineup was a major reason why Dallas lost. And then Kyrie had an off night, and Luka kind of had an off night. So you knew they was going to come back determined today. But Derek Lively's presence out there on the court is not just on defense, it's not just scoring. During tonight's game, and I'm do a quick breakdown. When Luka crossed half court and when Minnesota double teamed him and try to trap him up top, he would pass to Lively mainly around the top of the key area, and then Lively would react to what the defense was doing, and he always passed to the right teammate for the best possible shot or the hockey assist. He was the key to breaking down Minnesota's defense after the first quarter. Because Luka, I mean, the shots he was hitting that first quarter, man, goodness gracious, man. He goes red for the jugular. He goes red for the heart, man. And then Kyrie Irving, he only scored 4 points in the first quarter. He scored 32 points the rest of the game. Both players wound up scoring 36 points. And it's just a great feeling, man. It's a great feeling. And like I said, Boston Celtics, they've been the top team all season long. But Luka is a different animal, man. And Kyrie is prime. And they got the chemistry down pat. And they playing for each other, man. And Boston's going to have to bring their A game, man. They ain't going to be able to, I'm not saying that they've been playing lackadaisical. What I'm saying is they're facing they facing a guy who's going to try to snatch your heart out, and then another guy, when he get going, there's nothing you could do with him, and he closes games out. But for tonight's action, the Mavericks advanced to the NBA Finals, beating Minnesota 4-1, and the final tally for tonight: Dallas 124, Minnesota 103. And as we can see here, as I mentioned before, Luka Doncic, 36 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Kyrie Irving, 36 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Daniel Gafford, in 20 minutes of play, 11 points, 9 boards. Derrick Jones Jr., who played good defense tonight, played timely defense. He only scored 5 points, but his value tonight was mainly on defense. P.J. Washington hit key shots, when Dallas made their run to take control of the game, 12.7 rebounds. But I'm telling you, and you knew when they played Max Kleber, you knew they was going for it tonight. They weren't planning on going back to Dallas for another game, for Game 6. But Derek Lively, man, that's what you call astute drafting. he's the perfect type of center for this team. He fits them perfectly like a glove. And he reminds me of Tyson Chandler when he was on the Dallas team in 2011 when they won the championship with Dirk Nowitzki leading the way. That's who he reminds me of. But Dallas, man, they took no prisoners tonight, and they dominated. They didn't front run like super teams do. They dominated. You know what I'm saying? But for Minnesota, Karl Anthony Towns, 28 points, 12 rebounds. I still think at times he relied too much on the three ball, especially when the shot wasn't going in. But nonetheless, man, he went out on his shield, man, and he's the long-standing player on this team for this franchise, And Ant-Man Anthony Edwards, 28 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. He's only 22 years old, so he has a bright future for himself. The supporting players, I just think they was overwhelmed by Dallas' overall team defense. Jalen McDaniels, 8 points. Rudy Gobert, 9 points, 5 boards. Mike Conley, 7 points. Kyle Anderson, 7 points. Naz Reid, they held him in check tonight with only 5 points. But like I said, Minnesota had a great season for themselves in reaching the conference finals. And, it's not like they're going to fall off. And they did boast the number 1 ranked defense all season long. But when you got the killer on the other team, man, and the ultimate closer, Luka and Kyrie, that's gonna be a hard combination, man, because they can both drop 30. Like I said, I know Boston, they have home court. And they'll probably be favored to win it. And like I said, they could win it. I'm not really making no predictions right now. I'm just elated, man, that we got, we're starting to regain and witness real basketball again, man. It means something, man. It means something. And the league they really need to uphold what's going on instead of undermining the hard work that these teams and these players are putting in, man, to represent not just their team or the city that they play in, but the league, And I'm just very happy about this postseason, man. It's a win-win, man. It's a win-win. All these years over the past decade or so, young talent has been disregarded, devalued, you know what I'm saying? But it's the driving engine of this postseason, Or teams that allow their young talent from they drafted 5-6 years ago to grow together, develop their chemistry like Boston has with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and what Dallas is doing now with Luka and Kyrie, man. I just think it's awesome, man. I just think it's awesome. And really kudos to both teams, man. But like I said, Kyrie Irving, man, he's been treated like crap over these past 7 years, man. And a lot of times, Kyrie was standing up for what was right, and he got trashed. So it's a thing, man, where you really root for him, man. You really root for this guy, because you had people, prominent voices saying he should retire. A team shouldn't want to pay him what his talent deserves, But see, a lot of disingenuous voices are about to be phased out because they have held no credibility for some time now. And the way the league is evolving, it's going to be virtually impossible to manipulate who they want to win. And the reason being is that you have so many teams that are rising and ascending at the same time. That's the key to it all.